Wait, is he dead? Is he dead?
Sit down.
Okay, no, I'll sit down. I just, you scared me.
Sit down.
He's not dead, is he?
We don't.
No, they're taking him to the hospital right now.
He's in the hospital right now.
I need to be at the hospital with him.
Oh, you're not going anywhere.
Why?
Can you believe this just happened? Right out the gate, a TikToker nonchalantly asks his girlfriend if she's up for getting hitched, sparking a playful yet clumsy chat about their future. Her surprised and overjoyed reaction peels back layers of their connection, even as their lighthearted banter hints at some under-the-surface tension. This sweet exchange sets an unexpectedly cheerful tone for the unfolding drama. But hang tight, because we're about to dive into murkier waters.
A popular TikToker documented his life and relationship with his girlfriend.
You want to marry me?
Yeah, are you asking me to marry you right now?
You gonna marry me?
Yes. We're married.
Okay. I'm just playing though. I never married your sorry.
I hope that hurt.
I love you though.
No, you don't.
I love you.
No, you don't.
Did that really just take such a wild turn? From cutesy love to serious lockdown, the mood flips on its head as it's revealed that the TikToker is now cooling his heels behind bars, accused of a heinous act against his girlfriend. This segment pits their earlier lovey-dovey moments against the harsh reality of his alleged violent outburst, showcasing the startling transformation from social media sweetheart to criminal suspect. The stark contrast really makes you question what's real and what's for the gram. Buckle up, we're about to peel back even more layers.
But now he's behind bars accused of shooting her in the face.
When we look at that individual, those individuals in the social media posts, they post again the highlights of what's going on. Oh, we're happy here. We're going on dates and doing things of that nature. And you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Who could have seen that coming? From the spotlight to the shadows, Dino and Zara, once the TikTok world's darling duo, see their relationship spiral disastrously out of the social media limelight. This piece digs into the gritty details of their relationship, unmasking the fact that while they played up a perfect life online, storms were brewing behind closed doors. The plot thickens as we learn about the catastrophic fallout of their private disputes. And trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Ladarius Brownlee, known online as Dino, chronicled his romantic life and relationship with his girlfriend Saida Hashimi, known online as Zara. The duo, under the username of Dino and Zara, raked more than 150,000 followers on TikTok, and some of their videos massed millions of views. While the two appeared as a doting couple, trouble was brewing behind the scenes, as investigators say a heated argument after a holiday celebration would lead to tragedy.
How much worse can it get, right? In a chilling escalation, the video captures the horrifying moment Dino allegedly turns a gun on Zara during a fiery argument in their car. This pivotal moment marks the peak of their escalating personal crises, flipping quickly from a festive celebration to a violent showdown. Details like the type of gun and the location of the wound highlight the brutal and sudden nature of the confrontation. Keep your eyes peeled. The legal eagles are swooping in next.
According to the Flower Mound Police Department, the shooting stemmed from a heated argument as the couple were walking home from a 4th of July Independence Fest held in a local park. The fight reportedly turned physical. Then they got into their car, driving less than 3 miles away from the park. When Brownlee stopped the car, he pulled out a tanned Glock firearm from the driver's door pocket and allegedly shot Zara in the face, above her right eye.
What's the legal take on this mess? The plot thickens as we delve into the repercussions of Dino's shocking actions. Legal experts chime in on the horrific nature of the crime, laying out the potential charges and severe legal consequences Dino could face. This segment offers a clear look at the stark realities of his alleged actions, serving as a grim reminder of the consequences that follow such violent outbreaks. Strap in, we're about to go deeper into the legal labyrinth.
I mean, anytime you hear a story, it's going to be just astounding to where you are just taken aback that any person can be charged with such a heinous crime that is definitely intentional. So there's nothing that we could say that wouldn't be intentional about that action. And so it's definitely something that takes me off guard.
When officers arrived at the scene, they discovered the 28-year-old lying on the ground outside of the car. Brownlee was still on the scene when officers arrived and arrested without incident.
What's the next chapter in this legal drama? Time to face the music. Here the stakes are laid bare as Dino faces serious charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We get a closer look at how the dynamics between the victim and the accused can amplify the charges, potentially eventually leading to a hefty prison sentence. This sobering discussion underscores the unfolding legal drama. Up next, we're diving into the human cost of this catastrophe.
Texas-based criminal defense attorney Bridget Williams explains he now faces a lengthy sentence behind bars.
If he's convicted of the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon because there's a dating relationship, then again, that makes it a first-degree felony. And so he could be facing anywhere between no less than 5 years in prison, no more than 99 years in prison. And so if he's facing that, then it would definitely be a first-degree felony charge.
Will she pull through? The future remains uncertain for Zara as she battles for her life in the hospital, with the video highlighting the ongoing investigation and how the charges against Dino might shift depending on her recovery. This segment paints a vivid picture of the personal and legal uncertainties clouding the case, spotlighting the dire consequences of domestic violence and its widespread impact. Fasten your seatbelt. The revelations up ahead are going to be jaw-dropping.
Zara was rushed to the hospital after the shooting as she sustained life-threatening injuries, and at this time her condition is unclear. But a police spokesperson would tell WFAA in Texas she'll likely remain in the hospital for quite some time. Jail records show Brownlee faces charges including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and deadly conduct discharging a firearm. But Williams explains those charges could change if Zara's condition takes a turn for the worst.
Could this confession change everything? In a surprising plot twist, the video reveals that Dino didn't make a run for it, but instead confessed to the shooting during a 911 call. Here, we delve into how his immediate confession and cooperation with law enforcement could influence his legal defense and possibly his sentence. This discussion unravels the intricate tapestry of legal strategy and human psychology, setting the stage for a complex legal showdown. Keep watching, because the story's final twists are about to unfold.
I am a little surprised that he stayed at the scene and that he gave a confession on the 911 call. That's in the heat of the moment when everything is going on. You give a confession immediately right over the 911 call saying this is what happened. Now, I don't know if he says, well, maybe she lunged out at me. I don't know what happened prior to that happening, but all we know is that he gives a confession on the 911 call. Now, is it helpful for his case? It may be helpful for his case in that he stayed when we talk about negotiations and mitigating, saying that he didn't run away from it. He takes responsibility for it.
Holy smokes, did that really just happen? The video kicks off with a TikTok influencer trying to order coffee, but quickly losing his cool. This coffee shop scene sharply cuts to a news report stating the influencer, Aliyah Bwaban, aka Jin Kid, is now a double murder defendant, charged with the murder of his estranged wife and her friend. The early details of the case are outlined by the reporter, and you thought your morning coffee run was eventful. Wait until you see what comes next.
From rising TikTok star
Okay, what can I get you? Hey, handsome. You come? Sorry, man. I'll have a venti dolce caramel macchiato with no ice. What the is wrong with this guy, man? You get him or what?
to double murder defendant. A former social media content creator is heading to trial for murder after he allegedly shot and killed his estranged wife and her friend who he thought she was cheating on him with.
No way, it ramps up from here? The story dives deeper as we learn Jin Kid allegedly planted a listening device inside his daughter's iPad to spy on his wife. After hearing her with another man, he confronts them at her home, leading to a tragic outcome. He then picks up his daughter from school, still armed, an unsettling twist in what began as a routine day. Strap in, because this tale takes a nosedive into even darker waters.
Ali Abulaban, who went by his username Jin Kid, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of his 28-year-old estranged wife Anna and her friend 29-year-old Rayburn Barron. According to prosecutors, Ali installed a listening device into his 5-year-old daughter's iPad, and when he heard his wife and another man talking, he went to her home and shot them both to death. Then, still armed, he picked up his daughter from school. The details were shocking, as many of his followers seemed stunned by the crime and his subsequent arrest. And here's what else we know. The former influencer was arrested in 2021 after allegedly confessing to the fatal shooting at a luxury high-rise apartment in San Diego.
This next part is a real jaw-dropper. Further details emerge about the events leading up to the tragedy. After his wife asked him to move out, Jin Kid not only trashes her apartment, but also sneaks back using a copied key and sets up his eavesdropping app. The recounting of how he shot both victims and his subsequent actions paint a chilling picture of premeditated rage. Keep your eyes peeled. The plot thickens and the expert takes the stage next.
A few days later, Ali snuck back into the apartment with the key he allegedly copied to get in and trashed the space while his wife was gone. He also allegedly installed an app with a listening device on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad that was left in the bedroom. When Ali began listening, he heard his wife talking and laughing with another man. Prosecutors allege that sent Ali into a jealous rage. He went back to the apartment with the gun. He reportedly shot Rayburn Barron 3 times at close range, in the neck, cheek, and the back of the head, before turning the gun on his wife and shooting her once in the forehead. After the shooting, prosecutors say he called his mother and confessed. He fled the building, picked up his daughter from school with a loaded gun in his car, then told his daughter he hurt mommy and would be apprehended by police. According to investigators, that statement came true. With his young daughter still in the car, Ali was stopped by police later that day and arrested.
Can you even imagine this turning into a tech tutorial on stalking? Melba Pearson, an attorney and former prosecutor, chimes in to discuss the implications of using modern technology for tracking and stalking, connecting these tactics to the case at hand. She describes how this tragic event is an extreme escalation of domestic violence. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive deeper into the abyss of human behavior.
Melba Pearson is an attorney and former prosecutor. She explains the case is classic stalking behavior that escalated tragically.
Sadly, this is not uncommon, especially now we're seeing the increase of, different types of technology to be able to track people more easily. This is a very sad and disturbing case, but sadly, it's not unusual. This is clearly an outgrowth from domestic violence, and we saw that his behavior escalated to the point that he was stalking her, staying at a hotel not too far away to monitor her activities, as well as going so far as to downloading an app on their child's iPad in order to continue to monitor and see if she's with someone else. This is classic stalking and domestic violence behavior.
It's wild to think that appearances can be so misleading. The segment shifts to explore how domestic violence can hide behind the most charming social media profiles. Despite Jin Kid's public persona involving funny impressions and sketches, his private life was dangerously turbulent. Don't touch that dial, because what's coming up will really make you rethink celebrity culture.
Much of his content was his voice impressions on celebrities such as Nicolas Cage, Tekashi 69, and the fictional character Scarface.
Speak English when you talk to me, okay? That was English. I'll have a venti, caramel, dolce. What the f*** you talking about? A venti. What is that? A large?
Ali and Anna would even make social media videos together.
But the reality is you can't look at someone and say, oh yeah, that person's definitely a domestic abuser, right? Like there's no race or socioeconomic status or anything like that that is an indicator that you will be a domestic violence abuser. Anyone can be an abuser.
Things are getting really intense now, aren't they? As the video gears towards its conclusion, it sets the stage for the looming trial and the possible legal defenses Jin Kid might face. Pearson outlines the emotional toll of the case, particularly on Jin Kid's daughter, and the potential legal outcomes. You won't believe how this all comes together, so stay tuned for the gripping finale.
I would think the jury is going to give that a lot of weight, as well as the child. Now, the 5-year-old daughter, I would be, as a former prosecutor, I'd be very hesitant to put her on the stand. This is traumatizing enough as it was for her. And then now to put her in a courtroom setting around strangers, she's lost her mother, her father's on trial. That is too damaging for a young child. So if there's a way to be able to prove the case with solely the evidence with regards to the statements he's made, any digital or forensic evidence, anything that was collected from the crime scene, that would be the path I would personally choose if I was trying this case. But again, it's a matter of what evidence is available to the prosecution in deciding who they will put on the stand.
And now, for the grand finale. Trust me, it's a doozy. This final part outlines the charges of first-degree murder Jin Kid faces, with explanations on what constitutes first and second-degree murder. It wraps up with a broader societal reflection on domestic violence and the critical resources available for those affected. As we close this saga, remember, the impact of these events extends beyond the flashy headlines.
Ali is charged with first-degree murder, meaning he's facing the rest of his life behind bars.
The key between first and second degree murder is that time for reflection. So if you had time to calm down, if you had time to make a different decision, that lends towards premeditation versus the typical scenario of, let's say, he walked in and found her with someone else. If a murder ensued in that particular situation, the defense could argue that this is a second-degree murder because he did not have time to cool down and cool off. But the fact that he had the time to leave his hotel room, however long it took to get from the room to the elevator, to the stairs, to the car, to then drive to his ex's house, to then confront the two of them, there was plenty of time for reflection and for him to pick a different path and not go and harm his ex-wife. So I think first-degree murder is completely appropriate in this case.
Can you believe that just happened? Right off the bat, the video dives into a high-tension scene with police commanding Courtney Clenny to get up from the ground immediately after she allegedly took a stab at her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. Amidst the chaos, Clenny is heard shouting, "Self-defense!" loud enough to wake the neighbors, sparking a wildfire of controversy and setting the stage for what looks like a legal soap opera. The footage shows her covered in blood, kicking off this drama with more red than a Tarantino flick.
You get up right now.
Why you have to keep him upright? I just want to keep him
Get up
upright.
right now. Get up right now.
Police ordering OnlyFans model Courtney Clenny off the ground after she stabbed her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. She claims self-defense. Does this new footage help her or hurt her? And what about her parents?
There are warrants for you and your wife's arrest. What? I know.
New videos also showing the moments her parents are arrested as they are accused of trying to help their daughter hide evidence. Courtney Clenny has been in jail in Miami for well over a year, awaiting trial for the death of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, in April of 2022.
You thought that was crazy? Just wait. As the police hustle to manage the chaotic aftermath, the paramedics swoop in like the cavalry, and the spotlight shifts to the frantic medical response. Clenny's grilled by officers about the knife-edged events leading up to the incident, while she sticks to her self-defense story like glue. One paramedic is trying to check her vitals, but she's more interested in arguing her case, making the medic's job as easy as herding cats.
Go.
Guys, please.
Relax,
Please,
sit down.
Here. Okay.
Sit down.
Just let me.
Sit down.
Okay. Baby, come here. Just sit down. Sit down.
Now, we have to blur some of that blood. It's just too gruesome, but we can tell you the scene is a mess. Clenny is placed in the hallway. She talks with officers who have placed her in handcuffs as she sits on the floor.
What?
Homicide, the one responding for DV. I'm assuming.
Wait, is he dead? Is he dead?
Take a seat.
Sit down.
Okay, no, I'll sit
Sit
down.
down.
I just, you scared me.
Sit down.
He's not dead, is he?
We don't.
No, they're taking him to the hospital right now.
He's in the hospital right now.
I need to be at the hospital with him.
You're not going in.
Why?
Because we're conducting an investigation.
Oh boy, did that scene tug at the heartstrings or what? Courtney Clenny is depicted in full emotional meltdown, fretting over her boyfriend's fate and practically begging the cops to let her check on him at the hospital. Her emotional pendulum swings wildly across the spectrum, painting a picture of a woman on the brink. This part of the video softens her image, stirring up a pot of mixed feelings about her role as either a villain or victim. Between sobs and shouts, she tries to explain her side of the story, but her words are as scrambled as an overcooked omelet, making the officers scratch their heads in confusion.
I have on
We have
my couch.
So on the inside.
On the inside, not like a full couch, but on like the couch kind of chair.
4 flates.
Just like a loose, like comfortable shirt. I think that there's like t-shirts or whatever in there.
IBM flates.
And then there's a pair of gray NBA sweatpants that are his. That I would like to wear.
As Clenny sits in the hallway of her condo complex, she asks to see Christian Obumseli.
I need to go to the hospital. I have to.
You gotta give us a statement first.
That's fine, but can I go to the hospital at some
After
point?
we done, yes.
Can I say bye?
What we're seeing could flip the script entirely. The legal brainiacs start slicing through the body cam footage that's been splashed across the media, arguing back and forth over whether it backs up Clenny's claim of self-defense. This chatty assembly of legal minds offers up a buffet of perspectives that could sway a jury this way or that. They pick apart her actions and emotional state, which could be the linchpin in the case. Keep your eyes peeled. The plot is about to thicken.
Josh, I'll start with you. From the former prosecutor's perspective, does this make Courtney Clenny look more guilty of second-degree murder? She's standing there covered in blood. She's saying she was trying to save him. She continues to ask about him, but she's admitting that she killed him.
Yeah, I think it cuts both ways, as you pointed out. You're right. She's covered. As far as proving did she kill him, it's a win for the prosecution. She's covered in blood. She's talking about her involvement. But if you're the defense, you're not exactly completely afraid of this video because I think it does show her in a state of shock. I think it does show her still concerned about him. I certainly don't think it shows a bunch of animosity on her part and premeditated types of feelings about she wanted him dead. So I think it's certainly going to play into the prosecution. They're going to use it at trial to prove that she was involved in the murder. But I think if you're the defense, there's a way to spin this to their favor.
Yeah, I saw that as well because she comes out and says, it was self-defense.
Hold the phone. The echo of this incident is reaching far and wide. The segment balloons out to chew over the wider social and legal ripples of the case, stirring up a hornet's nest on social media and among the chattering classes in the press. A colorful parade of commentators from all walks, legal experts, activists, and the Twitterati throw in their 2 cents, showcasing just how divisive this case has become. Grab your popcorn, because the revelations up next are jaw-dropping.
The video is tough to look at. I mean, she's literally dripping in blood, and she sounds remorseful, but more so for herself than anyone else. In other words, she sounds worried for how this is going to look and feel and be for the public at large. She knows it's being recorded, I think, at that moment. And she keeps saying, wake up to Christian Obumseli, her boyfriend, who we now know was stabbed and killed by her. And so she's petrified because it's kind of what moment where she's starting to realize he's probably not with us anymore, and I'm here covered in blood. So, Josh thinks it could help the defense. I definitely think it could help the state. Lawyers on both sides are going to be very savvy and try to use it to their benefit.
So you think there might have been a bit of acting in there? Like you think that there were some theatrics, Joel?
Well, I think that she's been in these situations, obviously not as grave as this before, but she's been in domestic violence situations. And I think she realizes at this point that it went too far. But I think she's worried for herself. And that's why she called her mother first.
Just when you think it can't get any wilder, enter stage left, the family. Fresh footage shows the moment her parents get nabbed, accused of trying to help Clenny sweep evidence under the rug. This new twist tosses a grenade into the mix, adding a layer of familial intrigue and showing just how deep the rabbit hole goes. It's like watching a reality TV show, but the stakes are sky high. Don't touch that dial, because what comes next is even more bonkers.
Let's pivot now to the parents' arrest. The parents and Courtney Clenny are now both facing felony charges of accessing illegally unauthorized use of a computer and trying to access Christian Obumseli's computer by guessing passwords after he was dead in an effort to find evidence that might help Courtney Clenny.
Yeah, I might catch some heat for this, but I actually feel bad for the parents here. What they did was wrong. Trying to access the computer is wrong. If those allegations are true and they're actually trying to break into his computer and trying to figure out his password, that is the kind of stuff that is taken very seriously by criminal courts, because now you're dealing with somehow obstructing an investigation, maybe attempting to destroy evidence. All of that is horrible, horrible stuff. But you also got these parents who've have their daughter who's in a horrible situation herself. She's looking to go to prison for a very long time. And a part of me feels like these are parents who were, I would do anything to help my children. They stepped over the line, but you can see that kind of realization hitting them in real time as they're being arrested, that, oh my God, we weren't just helping out our child, we were actually breaking the law as we were trying to do that.
Here's where the chess match begins. Defense attorneys and prosecutors square off, each side strategizing like it's a finale of Game of Thrones. The defense paints Clenny as the poster child for abuse victims everywhere, while the prosecution smells blood in the water, questioning every inch of her self-defense claim. They dissect the narrative, looking for any crack to either cement her innocence or guilt. The suspense is killing me, and you'll want to stick around for the climax.
So I think there are already some holes in her story that are going to be very problematic for her. And her attorney, I don't think, and I've had other attorneys on to address this, a guy named Frank Prieto, I don't think he's helping the case because he's making wild accusations in public about Christian Obumseli, among them that he was dealing in human trafficking. This is on top of domestic violence allegations. And unless you have receipts for that, unless you're coming with something to show that he was, and there's no indication that he was involved in this in any way. As a matter of fact, it's the complete complete opposite.
As we barrel towards the finish line, let's take a breath and see where we stand. The video caps off with a rundown of possible outcomes and what might lie ahead on the bumpy road to the trial. It covers expected maneuvers in court and speculates on the various twists that could still unfold, pondering the societal impact this high-drama case could leave in its wake. The curtain hasn't fallen yet, and the final act promises to be as gripping as the opener.
It says from their analysis that couldn't have just flung a knife and hit like that. And Frank Prieto, I should say, I reached out to him for a comment on this latest body camera footage release, and he has not yet responded. So interesting you brought that up about Christian Abomseli and those allegations. I had not heard those, but he has said that Christian was abusive to Courtney, but everything we've heard was that she was the aggressor in this relationship, and everything we've seen are videos of her attacking him. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on at trial. Well, thanks to both of you, Josh Ritter and Joel Waldman. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.